So Bleacher Report came up with a list of the top 100 NBA players of all time. And a couple things are clear. Number one, none of these guys played basketball at a high level. This is not former NBA players, all-stars, legends, Hall of Famers. This ain't that. There's a bunch of reporters that got into a room with their laptops with a bunch of analytics pulled up. Number two, they just never miss an opportunity to disrespect Kobe Bryant. And I'm trying to figure out, is that what we doing all 2025?
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. Give this video a like. Wish me a happy birthday by hitting that subscribe button and getting me to 1,000. We are about to review the Bleacher Report's top 100 NBA players list. All right. And there's issues top to bottom all throughout the whole list, but I'm not going to nitpick everything. All right. There's a couple things I really want to hit on. Basketball Reference is pulled up because I'm not going to speak out of my. All right. If I say something, I'm going to have facts to back it up, or I'm going to look it up and discredit myself. All right. And I know y'all going to police all this information in the comments. So make sure you leave a like as you're doing all this commenting on everything I'm saying. Let's talk about this real quick though. Michael Jordan and LeBron James. It's always a conversation over this person versus that person, but we never talk about the possibilities of both of them on the same team at the same time. So let's talk about this. Mike got 6 with Scottie Pippen. LeBron James went to 8 straight NBA finals. If Michael Jordan and LeBron James teamed up, they're taking an entire decade over. They're running the table. 10. And look, there's a lot of great players throughout the NBA history and all that. Look, you put those two individuals and, oh my God, in their primes, give me 1992 Jordan, give me 2018 LeBron James. You're not beating them. You're not guarding them. You're not going to outsmart them. And the dog that these two had in those particular years, scary hours. I don't even want to have a conversation about it. 82-0, and we running the whole 16 all the way through the playoffs to the NBA Finals. We getting rings, 10 straight, no doubt about it. Now let's break down this list, okay? And here's a very important part that I want to look at. They said, okay, we have Bleacher Report NBA experts, writers, and editors make the list, and then they say we stand by a comprehensive top 100 NBA players ever ranking, taking into account the totality of each player's NBA career, cumulative stats, average stats, awards, playoffs, championships, cultural impact, and overall greatness. This tells me they know there's some bull about their list. They know it's a lot of nonsense in there. They're going to come up with a cop-out. They're going to say it was a very educated list they put together, and they just didn't throw a bunch of stuff around. You're going to see throughout the entirety of this list, it's a bunch of nonsense in there. Let's start with the list, all right? 100, Artist Gilmore. Don't have any problems with that, right? Don't have any problems. Dave Bing. Not too much to say about that. Klay Thompson is 98. The man is 98. And the disrespect is never going to cease for this man. Look, top 75, we had an argument there. We had an argument. Could be included. At the time, he had 3 rings. Now he got 4. Arguably, if it wasn't for Steph Curry being alive, Klay Thompson would be the greatest shooter of all time. I don't even want to have a conversation about that. Respect to Reggie Miller. Respect to Ray Allen. Respect to Damian. Whoever you want to put in there. All right. If it wasn't for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson would be the greatest shooter we've ever seen. Most definitely has one of the best shooting forms of all time. All right. 4-time champ, 2-time all NBA, 5-time All-Star, first team all 1-time all defense. I think he should have been, had a lot more defensive selections, but hey, sometimes, voting, politics, and all that stuff. When you look at his numbers, 19, 3.5, 2.3, they ain't really eye popping, but the man he gotta have a higher ranking. I mean, 72 is the highest ranking, and then he was unranked. He gotta have a number that's higher than 98. Problem number 1. All right, let's move on. Bernard King is in the mix. Because you got to look at all this too, right? 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 1 scoring title. He's not going to be, especially on this list, he's not going to be ahead of a lot of people. I mean, when you look at people that are just in his field, right? Scorers. He's not going to be ahead of Melo. He's not going to be ahead of, guys like Luka and all them that play same position. He's not going to be ahead of KD. You know what I mean? So 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. I can respect that. Highest 53, unranked, disrespectful, right? Let's talk about Joe Dumars. Not mad at it. Not mad at it. Still tough. Finals MVP. Got to throw that out there because everybody act like, Isaiah Thomas was just cooking Jordan, Bird, and Magic by his lonesome. They got 2 rings and he got 1 Finals MVP. Who got the other one? So, Dave DeBusschere, not going to talk about it too much. Bill, not going to talk about it too much. So, and listen, all right? Like I said, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but you see this, right? Bill Sharman, the highest ranking is 51. 51. Just be honest with me, okay? Just be honest. Tell me that Skip Bayless and Mad Dog Russo is in the room together making this list up. That's all you got to tell me. Be honest. Don't hide behind it. We already know. 51. 51. Jason Tatum at 93. Listen, y'all know how I feel about the team in green. I don't even like saying their team name unless they're losing, about to lose, or have already lost. I don't say the team name. Y'all got this man at 93. Okay? Now, there's somebody who was making some comments about replace me with, or replace Kobe Bryant with me and we don't get a ring. That individual, I already have Jason Tatum ahead of him. Okay? I already have Jason Tatum ahead of him. 1-time champ. Okay, cool. 6-time All-Star. 5-time All-NBA. Look at his numbers. Basically 24, 7, and 4. Right? He's only played 8 seasons. Only played 8. Come on, man. Unranked. And I guarantee you, I'm going to put it to you like this, all right? If he would have had that Finals MVP, an Eastern Conference Finals MVP, he would not have been unranked in one person's eyes. He would not be sitting at, 93, I said? He wouldn't be this low. He'd easily, with a Finals MVP, he would easily be top 75 on this list. No doubt about it. Not even got to second guess it. Lenny Wilkins, people don't know, he was a hooper. All right, he could play. He was a great coach, too, in my opinion. I thought he was a great coach. Chauncey Billups is 91 on this list. And you know what? I don't want to be disrespectful, okay? Because I'm not going to put him, put that team in the same class as the other team in green from 2008. But that championship in 04 is going a long way for Chauncey Billups and some other people that's on their team. 1-time champ, Finals MVP. Like I said, if Tatum has that Finals MVP, this list looks a lot different. That's the only difference between him and Chauncey. 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Defense. He made teams better, made his teammates better. I think if you look at the way he played in Detroit, had them moving like a well-oiled machine. I think from, 2003 all the way up to 2008, they were in the conference finals every year. He goes to Denver. They have that showdown with LA in order for them to be in a position to go to the NBA finals. They don't get there without Chauncey. So, respect to his game, but that championship is going a long way. Chris Webber, I think Tatum is better than C-Webb. 5-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, 1-time rebounding champ. I don't know what's going into, him being at this point in the list ahead of, a couple other guys. But, think about this. Chris Webber's at 90. Klay Thompson barely made the list. That's tough. That's tough. Earl Monroe, the Pearl. Okay, one-time champ, rookie of the year, 4-time All-Star, one-time All-NBA. One of the greats. I respect it. I'm taking Tatum. I like Tatum better on this list. Draymond Green. We knew he was going to pop up. Draymond Green, one of the greatest defenders of all time. And this is why he's on the list right here. This and Defensive Player of the Year, and he should have been 2 or 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time champ, 2-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Star, 9-time All-Defense. People want to question if he's a Hall of Famer. Question all you want. They don't get those championships without Draymond. And when they lost that finals against LeBron and them, go look at his numbers from Game 7. He was the best player on that team, and he could have went Finals MVP that year if Golden State won. I mean, the argument can be made. Highest ranking 43. Stop smoking. Stop smoking. Stop drinking. And this same thing, okay? Whatever y'all on, I don't want any, but I strongly advise you to stop doing what you're doing. Now, Lonzo Mourning's at 87. Great defender, great shot blocker. We don't win the championship in 06. We, as in Miami Heat. I am a part of Heat Nation. All right. I don't have it, on me or with me, but we all got rings that year. All right. So be respectful. Defensive Player of the Year twice. 2-time All-Defense. 7-time All-Star. And he was a better scorer than a lot of people know. Him and Patrick Ewing. A lot better than people know. Unranked. One of the greatest centers of all time. I have him around top 15-ish. Off the top of my head. I don't want to say top 10 because I think it's a lot of, right here, it's 3 names literally right here. Kareem, David Robinson, Hakeem, Shaq, Wilt, I'm going to just be respectful off the top of my head, say top 15. So I don't think, I think this is okay spot for Zoe. All right. Tony Parker. Same thing as Chauncey Billups. The Finals MVP bought him this spot. 4-time champ, 4-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Star. I don't think there's ever a point in time where you say Tony Parker was the best point guard in the league. We've never said that. But when it comes to the playoffs, Tony Parker is going to do the things you need to do from the point guard position to help you win a championship. Was it the system? Was it the Spurs? Was it playing with Tim Duncan? We'll never know the answer to that question. But this right here, that's what got him the spot. 61 was the highest ranking. I think 86 may be slightly too high, maybe by a couple spots. Again, I'm keeping in mind Tatum and Klay Thompson at this point. He can stay. Yeah. The man got 10 championships. I don't care what era. All right. The man got 10. 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. And here's one thing that people don't realize about those Boston Celtics teams. All right. Because this is going to bring up a conversation that we're going to have later on. But this is one thing we got to talk about. Because not a lot of people know this. Not a lot of people are aware. All right. We look at all those early championship teams. Let me see. All right, let's look here. All right. We look at the playoffs. Bill Russell was like the 5th scorer on that team. For the first one, second one, he was the 5th scorer. He was mainly a defender, a rebounder, which is what he was great at. But he was a center, having a very pedestrian field goal percentage. 45, your center. I don't know. But look at all these players right here, right? 18 and 25, can't argue with that. But he wasn't always the top scorer. He wasn't always, getting up a bunch of shots, getting his stats up. He was clearing the glass. Those teams, look at this. 19.7, 17.1, 16.8, 16.7, 13. This was a bonus. This right here, 29.9 rebounds. That's what he was out there for. They had a ton of guys that can put the ball in the basket. So don't pay too much attention to that. This is very important because of those teams. Everybody, it was basically by committee. All right. So I don't know if a lot of people realize that about their team. They might, Bill Russell gets a lot of credit, but it wasn't like he was putting up 30 and 30, every game. Adrian Dantley, 84. I mean, he had some years where he was putting up 27 to 30 a night. All right. Dude could hoop, but 2-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Star, 2 scoring titles, Rookie of the Year. There's nothing on here that's saying I would take him over Jason Tatum. And I've watched him play, especially going back and looking at old Detroit tapes versus the Bulls. I'd still take Jason Tatum over him. I might even take Bernard King over him. That's a biased choice. So I'm going to remove bias. Adrian Dantley can stay, but I would still say I'm taking Jason Tatum over him. Maybe not Klay Thompson. So that might be one of the first ones I say that. 47, a little high. Unranked, disrespectful. Jimmy Butler. When I'm sitting by myself and I'm looking at Miami Heat film, old games, great games, Bron going into Boston. I look at D Wade in the NBA Finals, Game 3, the comeback win, going out of his mind, right? I also watched Jimmy Butler, the 22-23 campaign, and it's otherworldly what he was doing. Again, I've said this in videos before. 96 points across 2 games versus arguably the best perimeter defender in the entire NBA. Come on, man. Listen, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defense. There's only a handful of guys that has those marks. Only a handful. Not a whole lot of players is doing that. So I want him on the list. Is 83 high? Do I have Klay Thompson ahead of him? Do I have Jason Tatum ahead of him? Bias, I'm taking Jimmy over Jason. Long run, career-wise, all of the things that come with Jason Tatum, all of the things that come with a guy like Adrian Dantley or Klay Thompson, I'm probably taking JT over Jimmy. But we're going to let bias have his stay. Jimmy can stay there. Unranked, got to be Boston fans. Got to be a Boston fans or a Timberwolves fan if they have any. Bob Lanier, 8-time All-Star, 20 and 10. It's very clear that everybody that played in the 70s and 80s, this man, I guarantee you, he probably 23, 24 years old in this picture. Man looked like he's going on 40. But Bob Lanier, 8-time All-Star. Let's read this a little bit. Averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists for nearly 1,000 games. Wilt, Barkley, Kareem, Malone are the only others who maintain those benchmarks in at least as many career appearances. Bob Lanier can stay. I see why he was ranked at 52. Unranked again. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying. Mutombo? After we just read what we just read, this is where these lists make no sense. Bob Lanier is mentioned in the conversation with 1, 2, and then 1 and 2. 2 of the greatest centers of all time and 2 of the greatest power forwards of all time. And you have the Dikembe Mutombo. I guess I wouldn't have him up here. I'd probably have him where Draymond Green is. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Star, 6-time All-Defense. I guess I'm focused on this. I guess I'm focused on more so than this because you also got to consider. This one stumped me. Yeah, rank 63. Yeah, I don't. One of 3 players with 4 Defensive Player of the Years. I don't know. I'm not taking him over Alonzo Mourning. Zoe is a better player. Clearly stated that, Bob Lanier was in a class of all-time greats. I'm not taking him over Lanier. So this one where I say, all right, we need to chill out. All right. Tiny Archibald. I like it. Not 52. And again, this is where it gets. I'm not going to have him as high as 52, but he's definitely not unranked. He's clearly one of the 100 greatest players of all time. This is one of the bigger what ifs we're going to see. 5-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year. Spent a lot of years being hurt. Missed the majority of his time with Tracy McGrady in Orlando. What would his career look like if he had those years back and Orlando actually experienced the success that we thought they could? He would have a lot more accolades. His numbers would be a lot better because after he came back from injury, he was more known as a defensive stopper, especially went to Phoenix, right? He went to Phoenix, tasked with guarding Kobe in the playoffs, played 1 or 2 seasons in with the Clippers, right? So bounced around a little bit latter part of his career. I don't know if I'm had him up there. Paul George. Now, another part of this conversation, speaking of, the guy who said I could replace Kobe and we can go get one. Is he better than Paul George? Let me know in the comments. Who you got? Tracy McGrady or Paul George career? Paul George, Tracy McGrady career. 6-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star, 4-time All-Defense. This is the key that separates those 2 players. 1-time steal champ, most improved, 26, 4, 1.7, great number, well, not great, good numbers for his career, but the 4-time All-Defense is what separates him and Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady does have that 30, that year where he put up 32 points per game. Paul George does have a pretty extensive resume of good seasons before he went to the Clippers, and I think everybody's going to focus on that above all else. That's probably why he's ranked 78. Lowest ranking was 95. I don't think he was that low, but I'm still taking Jason Tatum over him. I'm taking Jason Tatum over him. Wait. No. Because again, I just pointed it out. 4-time All-Defense. So no. I'll take PG first. Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete don't get no credit for the style of play that he played. All right, Magic Johnson gives him credit for taking pieces of his game. If they had a 3-point line in college when he played, that man probably would have averaged over 50 points a game. He already averaged 44 without a 3-point line. And they said if you look at where he was shooting from, the man was shooting well beyond an NBA 3-point range in today's game. He was making probably about 6 or 7 a night. That's just what they say. Come to the NBA, 4-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, 1-time scoring title. 24, 4, and 5. No championships. 5 All-Stars, 4 times. That's not enough to be up here. I don't agree with that. Again, they're taking accolades into account. As a player, there's only one player that played, at the point guard position that played a style that he played, and that's Magic. So if we want to, do an episode where we take away, accolades and just go player for player, skill for skill, this will be a longer conversation than it's already been right now. Alex English, all-time leading scorer for the Denver Nuggets, 3-time NBA, 8-time All-Star, 1-time scoring champ, 25 and 3. Oh. And here's the thing, all right? And this is not because he's an older player. I'm considering these things matter. These things matter. And he doesn't have a lot more than a lot of other players. All right. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler. All defense, all NBA, and all-star, steals, champ, those things matter. So if you're going to say that, I'd have Jimmy Butler ahead of Alex English for sure. Manu, no. I don't think Manu should be up here. Because like I said, consider all the players that we have in front. Manu is ahead of Alex English. Pistol Pete, Manu's not better than Paul George. He's not better than Grant Hill. I mean, Bob Lanier, clearly we've seen that resume. He's not better than Jimmy Butler. But again, same thing that I said about Tony Parker. Championships. Same thing I said about the 2004 Detroit Pistons and that 08 team in green. Championships go a long way, and you're a sixth man on this list at 75. Manu can hoop, but your highest ranking is 42. Stop. Dave Cowens, not going to talk about it. Hal Greer, not going to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? Not going to talk about it because education matters. I'm not educated on those two. Chris Bosh, 71. 2-time champ, 11-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA. Didn't really get to finish his career, but 20 points, 8.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Didn't get to finish his career, but I think this is one of those things where we take into account their skill as a player, their talent as a player, and we compare it to maybe today's game or past year's games, right? Chris Bosh in today's NBA, he'd be getting 25 and 10 just like he was in Toronto before he came to Miami. Highest ranked 37, Cocaina. Unranked, I can see it. I can see it again because his career never got to finish his career, right? The blood clots got to him. Wes Unseld, somebody I'm familiar with, all right? But again, that's not enough. 1-time champ, 1-time MVP, 1-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, rebounding title. He's up here because of this. Let's be clear. He's up here because of this. This carries a lot of weight on this list. All right. 13 seasons and you're averaging 11 and 14. Again, double-double. Dominant rebounder. All right. And everybody gives credit to Kevin Love for his outlet passes. This was the father of that outlet pass. Fully 100% respect him. Again, 6'7". There's a lot of reasons where you can point to and say, great player. This is the reason why he's this high on the list. All right, Finals MVP. So we're starting to see a trend. You got one of those. You're going. Now, 9-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Don't really care about the Rookie of the Year. Doesn't seem like carry much weight on this list. 1-time champion. Now, I mentioned, like I said, this is a theme. All right. Certain championships, people are putting a lot of weight into them. The one he won with Cleveland and LeBron, coming back from 3-1, hitting arguably the biggest shot in NBA Finals history in Game 7 on the road versus the MVP versus the 73-9 win team. It's going to carry weight, but we got to see where he's going to fall on this list in comparison to other point guards. Specifically, my favorite 2 point guards, Damian Lillard, and where's Russell Westbrook on this list? Now, this says 85. I was expecting to see an unranked, considering him not being included in the top 75th anniversary team. 36 is a little high, too. I like Robert Parrish. 4-time champion, like I said. You gotta understand, 4-time champ, 9-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Great player, 21 years. But is 14-10 better than somebody else's 20-10? Again, guys like Bob Lanier. That's where you have a conversation about how much weight does a championship have versus all NBA selections, all defensive teams, all-star selections. So, not really a fan of that. He was ranked 100 and ranked 41 was his highest rank. Okay. 2-time defensive player of the year, 8-time all defense, 7. I'm okay with Dennis. We can leave Dennis right there. Don't like it. This man, okay, everybody considers him to be, everybody considers him to be 1B to Nikola Jokic at the center position. I don't, because I know for a fact that he's not as skilled as Joker. Anybody who watches the game can see that. But the man has not sniffed a conference finals. He's never been able to sniff at conference finals, and he's barely even healthy every single year. The process has run its course, all right? All due respect, the man can hoop, can be dominant. Gave 70 to Wemby, all right? He's not 66 all time. And quite frankly, it's debatable if he should be on this list. 5-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defense, 2-time scoring champion. Did he really deserve those? Because again, I mean, this is a term that wrestling fans knows. Joel Embiid is a part-time hooper. He's a part-timer. Just like Kawhi Leonard, except for Kawhi Leonard already won his championships before he started missing all those seasons. You know what I'm saying? So that's what separates those two. Supremely talented, supremely gifted, but he don't deliver in the biggest moments, which if you're going to go higher and higher on this list, that matters. So I don't really like him at 66. I'd probably, unranked is crazy, I'd probably have him in the 80s. All right, probably have him in the 80s. I won't have Vince Carter this high. And if Vince Carter's right here, I already know they got his cousin somewhere crazy. I don't see it. And I would go as far as to say that based on his athletic and skill, he underachieved in the NBA. 8-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and Rookie of the Year. That doesn't do enough for me. 16 points, 4, 3. That's not enough to be ranked 65th all time. Granted, they put cultural impact on there. Come on, man. Cultural impact got this man at 65. Dame. Let's check the resume. 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 25, 5, 7, 1 steal, 44, 37, one of the greatest shooters of all time. If Steph Curry didn't exist, he'd be the best point guard in the league for those stretch of the year. So, I'm not mad at it. I like it. And that means Russell Westbrook is ranked higher than Damian Lillard. James Worthy. And this is where, again, Finals MVP. 2-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, 3-time champion. Finals MVP has him right here. My concern is not knowing the game, not understanding the game, who he was playing with. If he didn't have this, I have a strong feeling he'd be a lot lower. That's concerning in this sense because James Worthy, I want to say James Worthy, maybe top 8 small forwards of all time. Just off the top of my head. I'm going to go with top 8. Top 8, right? Big game James. Let's see. They had this man unranked. Someone had him not on the list. This is why y'all got to stop Now, here's what I want to happen. Former NBA players. You get a list. You get about 100 of y'all. Sit down in a room. Rank all these players. Do it yourself. Pau Gasol, little high. He ain't do nothing without Kobe. Didn't do nothing in Memphis. I mean, later in his career, I think he got thrown a couple bones in Chicago, made some all-star teams next to Jimmy Butler. Don't think he made an all-star team in San Antonio. He was playing next to Kobe. 2-time champ, rookie of the year, 6-time all-star, 4-time all-NBA, 17-9. Decent, doesn't scream. I mean, borderline top 55, top 50. Highest rank was 42. That's insane. 83 sounds a little bit closer to right than 62. Bob McAdoo, 22, 9, 2.5. I'm okay with Bob. 2-time champ, 1-time MVP, rookie of the year, 5-time all-star, 2-time all-NBA, scoring champ 3 times. Let's go up the list a little bit. Okay. Yeah, you can stay there. And like I said, it's very wishy-washy. All right, because one stretch of players you think, okay, this accolade matters over this matters over this, and then you come to a player who has less stats. So it can be confusing, right? It can be very confusing. So Bob McAdoo, fine, you can stay. Biased opinion here because he is a member of the Miami Heat family. Carmelo Anthony at 60. Oh my God. 6-time All-NBA, 10-time All-Star, 1-time scoring title. This is a part where maybe they're taking into account his accolades aren't all there. But we know for a fact that Carmelo Anthony is top 10 all-time at his position. Carmelo Anthony is top 10 all-time in points ever. One of the greatest scorers we've ever seen, and they blackballed him for a whole year and a half. Highest rank 46, 87 is too low and too disrespectful. How many players can I say are better than Melo just at his position? I might take, I don't know, James Worthy. That's a toss-up. I don't know. Paul George's accolades ahead of Carmelo Anthony. All defense matters. I would move him above Carmelo Anthony just on career. Like I said, accolades aside, going skill for skill, there could be room for that conversation. There could be a lot of room for that conversation to be had that maybe even Carmelo Anthony is a lot higher. Why is Tracy McGrady ahead of Carmelo Anthony? 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, 6-time All-NBA, 10-time All-Star, scoring title 1 time, but top 10 ever in scoring. Nah, I'll take Melo. I'll take Melo all day. And look, 19 and 5. Melo got 22 and 6. Yeah, no, I'm going Melo. And you know what? Highest ranked 34, insane. Lowest 91. Let's talk about the fact that maybe, just maybe, Jason Tatum comes back. If he even sniffs one all-defensive team, Tatum passes him up. passes him up if he even sniffs one all defensive team. And Paul George is already ahead of him all time, even with the lost years in LA. T-Mac is not 59. T-Mac in an era with Vince Carter, Kobe, Allen Iverson, Garnett, Shaq, Tim Duncan, everybody had the same five to eight favorite players in the NBA. Everybody's was the same. All right. So no disrespect to T-Mac. It's just we getting a lot of revisionist history going on here. 2-time champ, 1-time MVP, 2-time finals MVP, 7-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 1-time All-Defense, 19 and 13. Now we're getting back into the flow of normalcy. I like this spot for Willis Reed. Luka Doncic. I think the stats is what's boosting this for him. 5-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, but 29, 7 seasons. Luka, you can stay. You don't play a lick of defense. You're always yelling at a referee, but looking at those numbers and that resume and that amount of time, you can stay. I have no problems with that. Dolph Shays, this right here. 12-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star, 18 and a half and 12. We don't got to talk about it. Shout out to the eye test. All right, this is his boy, Bill Walton. All right, this is if y'all ever go to the eye test comment section, tell him that his favorite player, Bill Walton, is ranked 55th all time. Let me know what he say. Shout out to the eye test. That's my guy. Reggie Miller, 54th, 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. It's not enough. 18 3-3 in 18 seasons. That's not enough for me. All right. He's one of the greatest shooters ever. Respect. 3-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star. He's not better than Jason Tatum. He's not better than. Let's talk about it. He's not better than Klay Thompson. I'm not going to have him up here. I mean, look at some of the other. I'm not going to have him ahead of Kyrie. Come on now. We got to have these conversations. Luka, we just seen Luka's resume. We literally just seen his resume. Reggie Miller is not better than Luka. I love Reggie Miller. One of the best trash talkers of all time. He's not better than Luka. How far we got to go up before we see somebody better than Reggie Miller? Luka, all right, obviously. I'll take Willis Reed's resume. I'll take Carmelo Anthony over him. Mac. Powell. I mean, I would take 17, 5, 3, 3 champs, finals MVP, 2-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star. I would take that over a Reggie Miller. So what exactly goes into these rankings? Now, cultural impact seems to be playing an overwhelming factor for some and not for others. Finals MVP favors some and not others. All-Star and All-NBA favors some and not others. There's no consistency throughout the course of this list. All right. Now, we're inching towards top 50. Okay. Gary Payton. Nine-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-Defense. Now, you're going to look here, okay? 16, 4, 6.7, 1.8 steals. Okay numbers, right? At one point, the conversation for best point guard in the NBA was like Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, players like that. All right, let's look at what Gary Payton was doing. Mind you, point guard, defensive player of the year. So 24 points, 9 assists. 21 points, 8 assists. 20 points, 8 assists. 21.8 points, 7 assists. 19.3 points, 7.5 assists. 20 points, 7 assists. 23 points, 8 assists. 22 points, 9 assists. 20 points, 8.3 assists. Come on, man. 53. That's it. If you look at that stretch of years, he had one of the best stretch of point guard play of all time consistently. And there's a number of point guards I can think off the top of my head that you have him under. John Stockton is one that comes to mind. Jason Kidd comes to mind. Who else did I see on this? Steve Nash comes to mind. I'm not taking a lot of point guards over Gary Payton. And you know what? There's a certain Detroit Piston, when I look at things, hand in hand, I would barely take him over Gary Payton from back in the day. I just think 53 is too low. 53 is too low. All right. Three-time defensive player of the year. 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defense, 5-time rebound champion, 2-time block champion, and I'm pretty sure he's top 5 in double-doubles all time. 15 and 11.8. Let's make it plain. Let's say it so it's perfectly clear to everybody, okay? There's some years where everybody thought that Dwight Howard was just trash and he wasn't doing nothing. No, he just wasn't playing for teams that was like he was playing for the Hawks. He was playing for the Charlotte Hornets, right? Let's look at, and I'm not even talking about these years. Like 14.2, 13.8, 13.2, 14 and a half rebounds, 12.4, still scoring 20 points a game. Like, we're not going to talk about that, all right? Let's talk about Houston, because everybody think, hey, after L.A., first of all, let's do this real quick. With the Lakers, 17 and 10 in the playoffs with 2 blocks. People were saying that was trash. Not me. Not me. And Houston, 18.3 and 12, 15 and 10, 13 and 11.8. Thought his career was over. After he leaves there, he goes to Atlanta, 13 and a half, 12.7 rebounds. He goes to Charlotte. He plays 81 games in Charlotte, 16.6 points, 12 and a half rebounds. The man doesn't even sniff an all-star team. Doesn't make sense whatsoever. Washington, this was the first year since his rookie season he did not reach a double-double, okay? 9 games that year. Went out hurt. Came back to the Lakers off the bench. 7.5. 7. 8.4. This is off of the bench in limited minutes. He's still darn near getting a double-double. Please respect this man, all right? Because the only thing everybody remembers and wants to give credit to is Orlando. Dwight Howard is too low on this list. I guarantee you they had him unranked. Oh, they not even going to show it. That's how you know they hiding behind it. Not even going to show it. I'll take both of them ahead of Ray Allen. All respect. Jesus Shuttlesworth. I got the jersey upstairs. All right. 2-time champ, 1-time All-NBA, 10-time All-Star, 18, 4 and 3. That's not enough. That's not enough. Heck, I'd take Jimmy Butler over Ray Allen. That's not enough for me. All right. He should not be this high up. Neek, I think he's too low. Not a lot of respect there. He might be one of those players that I also talk about, after his initial run, people tend to disrespect him. 25, 6.7, 2.5 assists per game in 15 seasons. 7-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star. Keep track of that and see who he's, under. Literally right away. Right away. I say, all right, let's see who he's better than. The next person is this dude. I mean, he said some crazy comments. Next thing you know, he's out of a show. It adds up. All right. I don't have him here. Too high. Top 50, you're insane. No. 71, that's a little bit closer. I probably got him at 68, maybe, somewhere around there. Russell Westbrook Love. Russell Westbrook Love, let's talk about this. Okay. Russell Westbrook is let's put, into perspective. No, he doesn't have championships. Okay, we understand that. But statistically, this man is one of the greatest players we have ever seen. Ever seen. Okay? All right. Let's start from about here. Okay? This whole run right here is arguably some of the greatest, most dominant basketball we've seen at the point guard position. Take championships out of it. Take rings out of it. Because if you take rings out of it, Westbrook is ranking higher than Steph Curry. You can argue with your mama. Look at the numbers. The man is putting up 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. 30, 10, and 10. Averaging a triple-double was just... It was fantasy basketball, all right? Everybody was saying, nah, it'll never happen again. Maybe LeBron to do it because he put up 27, 7, and 7 for so long. It was the only person everybody could say he can do it. Kevin Durant left, and this man went wild. And he would never get the respect for it. Did it 4 times. Did it in Washington where they said, you know what? Send Russ there. That'd be the end of them. Wizards are trash. He said, let me get my knees right. Let me get my knees right. We'll get to the playoffs. Finished the regular season 17-5. Averaged a triple-double, 22, 11, and 11. And got the team to the playoffs. Willed them there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Put some respect on him. Put some respect on Russell Westbrook. All right. Elvin Hayes. Championship, 12-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, All-Defense, rebounding, 21, 12 and a half. You can stay. Elvin Hayes, Kevin McHale, Anthony. Oh, he's another person. The ring got you here. All right. Otherwise, you'd be somewhere back there with Joel Embiid. All right. That ring got you here. I'm going to let you stay. I'm going to let you stay because taking accolades out of it and just skill, you're one of the best we've seen. Can handle, can shoot the midi. Now you can stretch it out to the 3. When you have, somebody who is not named Nikola Jokic in front of you, you can hoop every single game. Or, you might get injured, but you're going to come out, have a dominant first half, dominant first quarter, then go down with an injury. 5-time All-NBA, 10-time All-Star, 5-time, All-Defense, 3 block titles, 24-10. It looks good. But that championship is that's the icing on top of the cake. All right. So we're going to side eye it, but you can stay. 36 too high. You must be on that stuff. George Mikan. 7 years is not enough. Looks good. Like 5-time champ, selections, all that. Looks good. That ain't enough for me. All right. Ranked 10. Mad Dog. Come on. Chill out. All right. He's not top 10. Lowest rank was 81. That's a little too far. Nah, that's still respectful. To the first great Laker, right? Walt Frazier, 2-time champ, 6-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-Defense, rookie first team, 18-9, 5.9. Let's talk about the man's swag. All right. You ever seen this man dress? Go Google it. All right. Him and Craig Sager was going bar for bar. Every single time they pop out, they was going at it. 6-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-Defense, 2-time champion. Wearing that jersey, I'm going to let it ride. I'm going to let it ride, man. That's a lot of responsibility. George Gervin, somebody that hasn't come up in conversations. It's him and another player that I feel like don't get enough love. George Gervin and Julius Erving, all right? Don't get a lot of love. 7-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star, 4 scoring titles, 25, 5.3, 14 years. 27 points per game every year from 78 to 82. I mean, and you go back and look. The man was at least third in the league in scoring every single year, putting up numbers. And he wasn't, shooting no crazy percentage either. 50%, 25 points per game. He was hooping. He the reason we call it a finger roll. All right. 28. I can see it. I can respect it being 28. 85, somebody ain't been watching. Somebody never watched. And you know what? Respect to George Gervin in this sense. He's one of those players that if he really wanted to pop out and talk his stuff, there's not a lot of people that can say nothing to him. Not a lot. I mean, you hear, everybody, go on these channels and talking about how, I'm a better scorer than Mike and KD and Melo. Look, George Gervin can talk his talk. And I dare anybody to say otherwise. Julius Erving can talk his talk. Ain't nobody going to say nothing to him. Rick Barry, you can stay. You can stay. 6-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ. I mean, Finals MVP, 1-time champ. You can stay. I'm not gonna debate it because we see what's going on, right? We see what's going on. 1-time champ. They carry a little bit more weight than other players that have similar accolades. Why are you here? Why are you here? 11-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defense. I think 40 is a little high. I think Dwight Howard is better than him. I think Gary Payton. I think I take Bob Lanier. I don't know if I take Paul George. I'd probably take Jason Tatum. I would take Luka Doncic. I'm not gonna take James Worthy, but I think I've seen Kevin McHale. I would take Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale, we give Tim Duncan a lot of credit for being the greatest power forward of all time. Kevin McHale and Charles Barkley at their best could be in the conversation for 2, 3, or 4. All right, depending on who's all in that mix. Kevin McHale was like that. So I would take Kevin McHale over Patrick Ewing. The thing about Patrick Ewing, I mean, look at the list, D-Rob, Hakeem, Dikembe. You add Alonzo Mourning into that mix. Me personally, I like Zoe better than Patrick, but I wouldn't have him this high, but Patrick was better than Zoe. But I take a lot of those other players that I named ahead of Patrick Ewing. 26 and 5, 2 steals. Biggest problem with him, he came up he was in the Michael Jordan era. That's the bigger thing with him. He was in the Jordan era. 10-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. He's one of those guys. Zeke to Magic, Dame to Steph, D Wade to Kobe. If those other players weren't around, he'd be the guy, right? Shout out to the Dream Team. Bob Pettit. And this is strictly looking at numbers. We can't talk about era because look, that says 1958, right? 1958. Are we comparing it, to now? Can't really do that. So we just got to take it at face value. Champion, 2-time MVP, 11-time All-NBA, 11-time All-Star, 26 and 16. You can stay. Unranked with all that information is crazy. Is crazy. Bob Cousy, again, we talked about the Celtics teams, okay? Everybody was, chipping in, all right? A number of players. I think they had like 8 or 9 Hall of Famers. Everybody had a job, All right. Bill Russell, he wasn't, doing all the scoring. It was guys like Havlicek, right? Bob Cousy. It was other players doing a ton of work, doing a lot of other things, and he was clearing the boards and playing defense. Everybody got to eat on those teams. So you're saying 18, 5, and 7, and 6-time champ, 13-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA, 8 assist titles. Questionable. We don't got to talk about it, but as a point guard, shooting 37.5%, whew, that's tough. That's tough. I'm not going to put you at 22. Allen Iverson, 11-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, 26.7, 6 assists per game, 43%, 31 from 3. If there is anybody on this list that can get credit for cultural impact and have that be a supreme benchmark, it is Allen Iverson. It is Allen Iverson. Patting the rock, going for the highlight reel move, ability to finish around the rim, scoring ability, heart, energy, effort, hustle, all those things, playing through energy, hyping up the crowd. Everybody is going to pay to watch you play at home or on the road. Tattoos, braids, do-rag, sleeve. Everybody, if you wear a sleeve, tell me who got you wearing a sleeve. We already know the answer. Allen Iverson. So, look, this man, and I seen somebody else say it, Allen Iverson took the media beatings back then so that we all, in the NBA at least, we all as fans can watch the NBA and say, man, he got some swag to him. I will copy that, right? I want to walk around dressing like him. People was walking around with headbands and sweatsuits on because of this dude. You know what I mean? So it's like he took all of those beatings back then so that they can do all the things that they're doing now with the fashion and off the court and, all that stuff. Allen Iverson's better than Steve Nash. So is Gary Payton. We talked about it. There's Luka Doncic. Better than Steve Nash. Why is he here? 2-time MVP, right? Back to back. He has no championships. Never been to an NBA Finals. 2-time MVP, 7-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Star, 5 assist titles, 14, 8.5, 49%, 42.8 from 3. But is he better than... I don't know, man. Maybe Gil was right. They put a lot of stock in the MVPs. All right. James Harden. He can stay. I don't have any conversation about James Harden. I will say this, though. We do see he is not ahead of a certain someone. We will get to that in a minute. But I've been telling y'all for years, he ain't him. Craziest stretch of years for James, though. 2 or 3 years. Houston, unstoppable. 36 points per game. An MVP everybody feels like should have went to LeBron. Conversation for another episode. 8-time All-NBA, 11-time All-Star, 3-time scoring champ, 2-time assist champ, 6th man of the year. I think this is fair. Maybe top 30. I got him ahead of Jason Kidd all time. I like him better than Jason Kidd. 6-time All-NBA, 10-time All-Star. This is why. You look at James Harden, he ain't got none of those. He got the All-Stars, he got the All-NBAs, but he don't have no defense. So, All-NBA, All-Star, and 9-time defense, Jason Kidd gets the nod. So, when you got the All-Stars, All-NBAs, and defense, you're going to be favorite. 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time champ, 2-time All-Defensive Player, Defensive Player of the Year, 6, and 7, Steals champ. He's a part-time Hoover, but like I said, he got the rings. So we'll leave Kawhi alone because when he is healthy, when he is playing, the championships in Golden State might not have happened. And I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. And he probably could have rattled off a back-to-back if he would have stayed in Toronto. Havlicek, you can stay. 8-time champ, Finals MVP, 13, 11, and 8. We don't have anything to say about that. Got something to say about this, though. Got something to say about this. Is he better than Gary Payton? Me personally, I don't think so. If we're looking at current players, excuse me, that's crazy. Feeling sick. 11-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star, 9-time All-Defense, 6-time steals champ, 5-time assist champ. I don't think he's had a better. I just don't think at their best he's better than Gary Payton. 17, 9.2. He's top 6 or 7 point guards all time. I think I got Russell Westbrook ahead of him now. I just don't think he's better than Gary Payton. One of the most elite floor generals of all time. This is disrespectful. 73. Come on now. 18. Too high. 73. Stop playing with me. He top 50 easy. He's better than John Stockton. And you know what? If Michael Jordan didn't exist, John Stockton has 2 championships. I think that plays into that, along with his longevity. And I also think the way people talk about him that played with and against him. And then you look at the success of Karl Malone being top 5 all time in scoring, number 2 for a long time. And you look at his assist and his steals numbers, records that probably will never be broken. Stockton's 29, so he's going to get the nod over a lot of people. But bar for bar, you're going to hear this a lot. I got Gary Payton. That smack of the lips was crazy. Pause. Scottie Pippen. You'll never admit it. You'll never say it. And everybody wants to argue this without, knowing the legit history of the game and history of their partnership and those runs in Chicago. He's there because of Michael Jordan. He's there because of Mike. Mike had rules where I'm not playing on the same team as Scottie in practice. We're guarding each other. Off season, we're working out together. We have to play against one another, and that's going to sharpen us and prepare us. And also, you guarding me every day after I'm coming off, 35, 37 points per game, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and all that, and you're guarding me every day in practice, you are going to be elite defensively because whoever you got to guard every single night, they ain't me. So a lot of credit needs to be given to Michael Jordan for its success of Scottie Pippen. Let's be perfectly honest, okay? Let's be perfectly honest. Scottie could hoop. Had that great year, 55 wins after Mike left. But the following season, he ain't follow it up, and they almost missed the playoffs if Jordan didn't come back. When Mike came back, I think they were about a half game ahead in the 8th seed. They almost missed the playoffs. And he was losing it because late game situations, he wasn't getting the pill. They was going to Kukoc multiple times. So 6-time champ, 7-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, 10-time All-Defense. I think Kawhi Leonard's better than him. That's just being real. I think Kawhi Leonard is better than Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is fringe top 10 all time at his position. Fringe. Hanging on by a thread. I don't think he's better than James Worthy. Let's have a conversation. Is he better than Paul George at his best? He's a great defender, but it's 2 sides to the ball, and Paul George was an elite defender and an elite scorer. Let's talk about it. Might get uncomfortable. Luka Doncic is better than Scottie Pippen, and he can't play a lick of defense, but he's better. Conversations nobody wants to have. You don't belong here, in my opinion. I think that might be a little high. Same thing, like I said, 2004, 2008. Let's talk about you too, because you beat Jordan, Magic, and Bird in the same playoffs, but you was only Finals MVP one time and you got 2 championships. Did you do it by yourself? Stop acting like it. 12-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, champion 2 times, Finals MVP once, 19-9. You're not better than Gary Payton, in my opinion. That's just me throwing it out there. If you follow along, he's not better than Russell Westbrook. But look at what we have here. A Finals MVP can take you places we're being arguably, statistically, the greatest point guard of all time across the board. It's going to hold more weight. Elgin Baylor. Might be too low. Look at this. Small forward, 27-14, 10-11, rookie of the year. He's in the class where we talk about Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, where you can make the case like, this player statistically and accolades wise, elite. And then you say, well, what about this person? Elgin Baylor's that, what about this person? Where you can interject him in all these conversations, albeit he doesn't have a championship, so he's on the outside looking in. I said this man, arguably the greatest power forward outside of Tim Duncan, with Kevin McHale in the mix, 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 22-11, one of the greatest performances in the playoffs of all time. I'm pretty sure it was Game 7 versus the Spurs. Went crazy against Golden State. Went crazy, 40 in 20 games. People disrespect Chuck because he talk a lot. Listen to me. The man put up numbers in the biggest of moments, and you cannot look at his numbers and the stats and accolades and say otherwise. Giannis at 24. I think I had Giannis on my personal list at 17 or 18, somewhere around there. Champ, MVP, Finals MVP, DPOY, All NBA, All-Star, All Defense. 24, 9.9, and 5. Those numbers are going to increase because he's 12 years in, but the man is still. He's still in his prime. Still dominant. Physically dominant. Locked in mentally. He's a 7-foot Russell Westbrook and only improving year in and year out. So he's going to continue to put up numbers. I'm looking at, he could be at 9 or 10 all defense. He could be at 14-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA. If he goes to another team and dominates, in a Miami Heat jersey, maybe, he's going to have multiple Finals MVPs. So 24, I'm not mad at it. 17, like I said, that's where I had him. All right, so we cool with 17. Dwayne Wade, third best shooting guard in NBA history on one knee, one healthy knee. Had his meniscus taken out in college. 3-time champ, Finals MVP, 8-time All-NBA, 13-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defense, 1 scoring title. But Giannis deserves to be a spot ahead, maybe. All right, both of them are better than him. I'm not going to talk about him. We got, y'all know why. Just Google it. 8-time All-NBA, 13-time All-Star, 2-time defense, 6-time rebounding champs. Moses, 20 and 12, 50%, 1-time champ. Like I said, 8-time All-NBA, 13-time All-Star. Moses can stay because I think I had him pretty high on my list. Julius Erving, I think 20 is too low. Two-time ABA, 1-time NBA, 4-time MVP, 16-time All-Star, combined 12-time All-NBA, All Defense, 24.2, 8.5, 4, 2, 1.7. Come on, man. And listen, everybody, look, love MJ, my GOAT, right? None of that would be possible without Dr. J. He was the first one playing like that, really got people sitting on top of apartment buildings, looking down at the park. Come on, man. Dr. J was him. He's better than David Robinson. This is insane. That's insane. And I don't care about none of this. I'm not even going to talk about none of this. David Robinson is ranked higher than Julius Erving. Please get out of here. He's not better than Dr. J. Not going to talk about it. Okay. Nikola Jokic at 17, career is not over. 3-time MVP, Finals MVP, 7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, should have 4 MVPs, okay? Highest assists per game total for a center. 22, 10.97, and that's only because of slow start to his career, but we know what it is, right? So it's like we take account this, Not so much this. Yeah, he has one. More so the 3-time MVP, and he should have 4 if everybody wasn't crying about giving Joel Embiid 1. 7-team All-Star, 7-time All-Star. He'll finish with 10. He'll probably finish with 10 plus, so no defensive selections. All right. So that might be why we haven't seen a certain someone on the list yet. KG. Yeah. And I'm so sorry. I only mentioned Chuck and Kevin McHale. KG's in that conversation. That's why I said 1, 2, 3, or 4. Couldn't remember the other person. Definitely KG. He allowed Paul Pierce to think he was the best player on that team. He let him do that. 12-time defense, 15-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, champion, 4-time rebounding. This is where it's like, But, when he got to Boston, he slowed up. 17.8 and 10, 21 years. Jerry West, okay, 14-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defense. Did not know about the all defense. I knew he could hoop, but I didn't know about the all defense. Interesting. 14, the original triple-double king. Kevin Durant at 13. I got Kevin Durant at 10 or 11. He's at 13. 11-time All-NBA, 15-time All-Star, scoring champ 4 times, MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time champ. Yeah, that's low. Hakeem, that's too low. And this is who I was talking about in terms of Nikola Jokic. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and the 9-time All-Defense is why Hakeem is still above Nikola Jokic. This is what I want to talk about. And you know what? We already talked about Bill Russell and why I said, maybe he's a little too high simply because there was a lot of players on those Celtics team that was getting to it, right? Some players was putting up 25, 12, and 8, albeit he was putting up, 10 and 20 or something like that. But he wasn't the only one on those teams hooping like that, right? So him having 11 championships, phenomenal. But it's other guys on those teams that was going crazy. Like 25, 12, and 10, 22, 8, and 8. 19, 12, and something else, crazy stats like that, but all in one finals run, and they're all on the same team at the same time in their prime. So, with respect, that's what I mean when I talk about Bill Russell and moving him out of the top 10, possibly at 11. And you know what? I'll leave him at 10, and I'll put KD at 11. But Kobe Bryant and Hakeem Olajuwon are top 10 NBA players of all time. And it's bothering me because Steph Curry on this list has passed up Kobe Bryant. How? When we know the cultural impact of Kobe. We know how many championships he has. We know how many finals MVPs he has. He has 18 All-Stars, 15 All-NBA, 12-time All-Defense, 2 scoring championships, 25, 5, and 4. What is there to what are we talking about? He has all the accolades, higher than Steph, tied in scoring champions. Cool. Steph has more MVPs. Kobe has more finals MVPs, which is the thing everybody was going at Steph about. Makes no sense. Real talk. Makes no sense. All right. So we already know about Kobe. His highest rank was 4, which I have him at 5 or 6 because I have him behind Tim Duncan. Steph is at 10. We don't got to talk about it. We know Steph. Greatest shooter of all time. 11 and 11. Again, lower than Kobe. 4-time champ. Lower than Kobe. Finals MVP. Lower than Kobe. So this is basically where I think they're putting the value at. And albeit, look, Steph has changed the game. Top to bottom. I coach high school basketball and I train, sometimes younger kids. Top to bottom, they're playing like Steph Curry across the board. Coaches are coaching, looking for that next Steph Curry. So cultural impact is there. But everybody is looking to have that Mamba mentality, no matter what sport you play, career path, what phase of life you're in. Mamba mentality is known universally right now. So whether it's cultural impact or not, I ain't with it. Wilt Chamberlain, most of his accolades people call to be a myth. All right? I don't. I think a lot of the things that people say happen. I've done videos on it. Done videos on his 100-point game. 2-time champ, 4-time MVP, Finals MVP, 10-time All-NBA, 13 times All-Star, 7-time, scoring champ, 2-time All-Defense, 30 and 22, and Bill Russell was molly-whopping your teams every single time y'all went toe-to-toe. That matters. The man has 11 championships, and you only got 2? Come on, man. That's something you got to talk about, because that's a lot to a little. That's a lot to a little. Like, if we playing baseball, that's a blowout. Like, that's a lot to a little. Albeit, monster number. Like, let's be respectful real quick. 30 points and 23 rebounds. So y'all didn't take all 5 players and make them guard him and let everybody else play? Y'all let him get 30 rebounds a night? Makes no sense, but not completely mad about it. Larry Bird, he's not top 10 anymore. That's just my opinion. Larry Bird was crazy, went nuts, but you look at his playoff numbers, Kevin McHale in a lot of situations, Kevin McHale was the one doing most of the damage. In some cases, right? Going toe-to-toe with the Lakers, toe-to-toe with the Pistons, I think we can put to bed the conversation about who would win between Larry Bird and Kevin Durant. I think we've seen enough. And I think the disrespect is simply because Kevin Durant decided to go play for Golden State. I have no problems with that. We need to stop the disrespect. All right. Larry Bird was great. Back-to-back MVPs. Dominant in regular season. 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defense. Had some stinkers in the playoffs, but overall, 24, 10, and 6. 49%, 37 from 3. One of the best shooters we've ever seen. Was he a 3? Was he a stretch 4? In today's NBA, sometimes he might see the 5 because he's 6'9", can handle, can rebound. Wasn't a great defender, but 3-time All-Defense. I mean, and honestly, that might be the thing that separates him and Kevin Durant on these lists, because he has all defensive team selections. Yeah, KD doesn't have any, so that could be a deciding factor, albeit the man is a 15-time All-Star. What the heck? Yeah, so all right. Larry Bird. I think as we get closer to the top, there shouldn't be too many problems. Tim Duncan, I'll live. We have Shaq, I'll live. No argument. Bill Russell, we already talked about. Magic, he's definitely my 4th all-time. Kareem, LeBron, Mike. All right, this was a super long episode. I said we wasn't going to go through the whole thing. Psych, I lied. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments some of the biggest, most egregious rankings throughout the entire Bleacher Report Top 100. That's one more for the good guys.